My dono got cucked? Good. I'm glad. My dono got cucked? Good. And YouTube chat was on my mom? It could have been.
I don't if you've talked about this yet, but are you going to talk about the What is a Woman documentary? Also, I love you.
I love you too, buddy. Someday, you know, man, someday we'll get there.
Stephen, don't listen to Mr. Girl. Listen to me. I need your help. I'm down bad. If you could only help me out with a small loan of $10,000, it would help me seal back the election from that commie Joe Biden. Obama.
I'll get right on that, dude, okay?
Is it ever exhausting trying to take into account the event perspectives? People haven't come to a solution to any problems we face personally.
Maybe. Yeah, it's hard, but it's my job. It's what I get paid big bucks for, guys.
This is for hot chocolate only. I post here, everyone on Resupport. Push back hard against me. Am I just wrong here?
Who knows, dude? You're probably wrong. Unless you agree with me, then you're right.
DesTiny argued treating Mr. Girl with kitty gloves. He's a 37-year-old grown man.
Who is winning the science fair? Oh god. I know three of the, oh no, I know four of these people. No, I don't know the top left and the middle.
Neon Pike.
Texas is a pretty smart kid though, no? Where's my chocolate, okay? Oh, Phineas and Ferb? I don't know what the fuck that is.
You should also consider that just being in his life and being friendly with him could easily be keeping him from getting even more extreme.
Maybe.
Hassan is probably one of the straightest people. I take offense to that. Like, I know Facebook will.
DesTiny pulling to do what is meaningful, not what is expedient to move.
The most controversial man on the internet? He literally peddles the safest, most fucking soy progressive, corporate safe positions of all time.
Factorial.
I can't do this. I can't do it.
Don't do it.
I'll lose my mind.
Can't do it. True.
Yeah, Biden's on an upswing. Holy shit, guys. Let's go!
www.
Into the midterms, Biden.
Made it with a Habsburg. Oh my god, Brittany makes me want to set Puku in a video game. Every time you have her and I unlike the stream because she's a massive
Biden on the ride.
L.
Or Dark Brandon.
What advice of any kind would you give to someone who's about to turn 20?
Not really. Remember Hassan said America deserved 9/11 and Crenshaw deserved his eye fucked by a brave mujahideen? I'm sorry. What was Hassan's repercussions for that again? Can you tell me?
I don't know if you've talked about this yet, but are you going to talk about the Nazi commentary? Also, I love you.
Was he perma banned from any platforms? Did he lose verification anywhere? Did he lose any sponsor opportunities?
Did he get banned for a while? Was it?
He had to cuck out to his uncle on stream. Oh! Heads up. Just want you guys to know, I have mastered 100% of astrology. I am a god. Now I'm doing agility. I know you, Jelly. Our DesTiny had a cameo on Temple. Wait, what? Hold on.
Wait, what?
Now, actually, you know what? Let me do this.
Uh-oh.
I'll pull up this from the DesTiny subreddit. Guys are
I was watching this video.
They don't hold him back. They're calling him out.
Based. I can go either way. Temple could be real mad or real happy depending on what he's on my side. Good job, Tim.
You've got Hassan here saying punch Nazis with glowing laser eyes. Then you've got Sam Hyde calling him out. And then you've got Hassan saying threatening violence over the internet is not funny, guys. Fair point. Fair point.
True.
I'm not going to condone what Sam Hyde
Absolutely
said.
true, Tim. Thank you for this riveting fucking commentary. As you're sitting here watching a little meme.
But if Hassan wants to come out and say something like this, guys over at DesTiny calling him out again. Hassan defends attacking police. When you see these quotes, he said, you know, I'm not going to read his quote, okay? He basically said that when people are fighting cops, you know who started it. You know who's responsible, and he's blaming the police. Bro, I have been on the ground of these events. I spent years covering this stuff. Hassan's just outright wrong and doesn't have the experience.
From someone who's not an influencer, does verification on socials make a difference when it comes to making money online? No. Verification on socials literally means absolutely nothing. Except it grows your ego. That's literally all it means. I have actually had girls in Miami. This is so fucking weird to me. And I don't think, honest to God, I wouldn't believe this until I seen it happen. I've had girls who were impressed my Instagram was verified. They're like, whoa, you have a check mark? You verified? Who the fuck cares? I had a girl say this to me who had more followers than me. I'm like, why do you give a fuck? Do you not get paid for this check mark? How weird.
How's it going, boys? Originally, I wasn't going to make a video about this, but I figured since the information's already out there, I might as well just post something. At least that way I can make a couple bucks off a wasted Sunday afternoon. So this is the story of how I got swatted. All right, subscribe. See you later. Goodbye.
Does he leave his camera running all the time?
I just want to go on some like ass.
What's up, boys? Welcome back to Mogul Mail, or my channel, or whatever this is. If you missed the end of last stream or are not on twitter.com, then you might not know that the stream ended abruptly as I went upstairs to refill my water in between a chess tournament I was running. I was met with the gun of a police officer, which was weird because my front door was not meant to be open for police officers. And so I spent about, you know, an hour away in a police car as they went through my house. And then the clips, I think, I mean,
Okay, I'm gonna give a big criticism of Ludwig, okay? Ready? I'm gonna shit on him hard. I don't like the sound in his voice because it makes me feel like I have to clear my throat all the time. It makes me really uncomfortable. It really bothers me. It actually really does. It's uncomfortable to listen to.
Now I can't. Now I'm bothered that you brought it up. Now I feel uncomfortable.
But it drives me crazy.
I'm forever fucked. I got cursed.
Been a bit
I can feel it now.
Tim did a good job locking it down, but I think I was still live.
He has a disorder? Oh, great. Well, now I feel like a fucking loser. Thanks. Now I feel like I'm an asshole. Thank you. Fuck you.
police were walking through. You guys probably saw that. You probably saw the police walking through the house because they sweep every single room when they do a swatting. As you can see, I'm not too shaken up. You know, maybe a little bit of adrenaline. Generally, I'm pretty fine. The initial part is kind of scary, but then it's quickly overwhelmed with a annoying feeling, a sense of annoyment. I'm just annoyed. Now, this isn't the first time we've been swatted. I talked on Mogul Mail before about how I've been swatted, and
sue them, dude.
The first time it's happened in a while.
They swatted you.
And it was a little different than most times because it was only me and Aiden home. Everyone else was out doing shit, so it was a little bit different in that sense. I think it made things a little bit easier to deal with because only having 2 people.
Oh God, is he gonna go full ACAB in this video?
A lot easier than the police officers being like 5 people come through. So the motherfucker who swatted me, who's watching this, who wasted about 55 minutes of my day, congratulations, you did it. 55 minutes of my day down the drain. Here's the thing about you, though. You got 55 years ahead of you that you are poised to waste. 55 years that you are set up to just blow through doing absolutely nothing with your life. And hey, hope you have a great Sunday. Recommendation, me to you, spin it around. You got a lot of years, all right? You spend 60, 70, 80 years on this earth on average. That's about it. You might as well, while you're here, do something effective with your time. Make an imprint. Be a positive impact. Change the lives of those around you. Now, if you get your rocks off on this, good job. All right? This will be the one thing you do, then you die, then that's it. Pee pee poof. Bye-bye. GG, no read. It feels to me empty. Okay? I would shoot for more. But if that's what you want, is 55 minutes of my Sunday, take it up. Go for it. Tick.
It's not funny. Okay.
TikTok does the same thing, all right, to me every single day, 55 minutes down the drain. It's not that big of a deal. But I do have to quickly talk about the ineptitude of the police departments in Los Angeles. I've been swatted a few times. Every time they come, this is generally how it goes. They take it very seriously at first, all right? 8 squad cars, 2 fire trucks, 1 helicopter, going around. Because there's some made-up story that the person who swats will say. Some BS. There's like a, my name's like Adam, and I'm gonna kill this person and then kill myself. Whatever. And then what happens, and I've realized where the ineptitude falls, is that there's a disconnect. Because every time it's happened to me before, they say, hey, give us a phone number and we'll call you when it happens again. Because of that, I always have my phone on me while I stream, right here. I'm prepared for a phone call. The problem is they've never called. Every single time they've come, they've never called. And every time they come, I get a little more annoyed. I'm like, why didn't you call this time? Why didn't you call this time? Why didn't you call this time? And instead of being like, oh, you know what, our bad, we should have called, they'll hit me with something like this. They hit me with this one time. I talked about this on Mogul Mail before. They hit me with this. Maybe you should get a different job. And I'm like, that cannot be the solution.
I can totally see a fucking cop saying some stupid shit like that. That's actually the most believable stupid cop thing I've ever heard in my life. I can believe a cop saying some dumb shit like that. I can believe that.
Certainly not. There has to be a middle ground between here and there, but I realized today where the disconnect lies. Now, the police department is a fabulously wealthy group, all right? The Los Angeles Police Department specifically has a lot of money in their ecosystem. But the division of labor leads for failures in communication. Specifically, when you call into the police, you call into an operator's line. And the operators are not a grounds crew. They don't do the dirty work. They don't go to stop things from happening and stop crime and kill innocent black men. That's not what they do. They just answer the phone, right? So when they answer the phone, they'll say, hey, we got a call. There's someone that's going to get murdered at this address. And then they tell the police, the grounds crew. And then the grounds crew, the policemen who actually go to addresses, they just do the thing they're told to do. And so annoyingly, I would love...
Okay. Okay. I don't really like Ludwig that much, just because of dumb shit in the past. He is the only person I've ever heard about when they talk about issues with the police department that actually understands the separation of what's going on. And I'm so happy he recognizes that. Like, what he's saying is true. When you dial 911, you're getting, you're calling into a place that's trying to figure out where to send your call. Once they get the phone call, they're sending that call to a different department. There are gonna be a lot of disconnects there in terms of like, well, we just got a call, we got a code, whatever. There's like a dude that has taken his family hostage, he's already killed the daughter, we need to break in, we need to get SWAT immediately, right? And there can be big breakdowns in communications because of how bureaucratic sometimes that system can be in regards to like how a dispatcher chooses to handle a call. I don't think I've ever heard anybody besides Ludwig actually talk about that breakdown of shit. Good job, Ludwig. Nice job.
Love so very dearly to yell at who comes to my house and be like, you fucking dumbass, you come multiple times, I've told you my number, you know I'm a YouTuber, you can literally go to my stream and see a camera that displays what I'm doing.
Live.
And what you'll find out is most times it's not murder, all right? Nary a day have you tune in the stream and I'm like, boys, today, plan is simple, we're getting up to some murder. It's never happened. So that's what I tell them every time. But the problem is I'm yelling at someone with no power.
Yeah.
Right? If you think about it in the grand scheme, they are not the people who make the decisions for the police department. They're not the unions, they're not the leads. They're not the operators who directly deal with the calls. So I'm basically yelling at the equivalent of a barista at a Starbucks that happens to have a gun, telling them they're being dumb, when they are like, well, I don't give a shit, bro. You can talk to corporate or my manager because I'm neither of those. Mm-hmm. It's like the same exact thing. So it's like, whatever. It's just a thing that I got to live with and deal with. And if it's an hour out of my Sunday, it's an hour out of my Sunday. Now, hopefully, they tell me every time. Next time they'll call me. Next time they'll be better. We'll see. We'll see. I'm thinking about getting like a nice doormat that says in really long text, hello, if you are a policeman or SWAT team reading this, I am a YouTuber. My channel is youtube.com/LudwigAugern/live. I know it's really long. I've told YouTube about this in parentheses. Please do not come in so aggressively. I will come up. Just knock a few times. Thank you. Goodbye. And then maybe that would work. Maybe that would work. Because the problem is the people on the phone who are faking the SWAT are talking to an operator who then talks to the people who come to the house. And there's confusion along the way. And I can only do so much. This time was particularly annoying for one reason. I will say this pissed me off. When they come through, they leave every single door open. Which is like annoying when your parents do it. It's as annoying when the police do it, turns out. And so they went through, they opened every door, and guess who snuck outside?
Oh no.
If it was not Young Coots. Young Coots snuck outside while the police were here, understandably. Because I don't want to be in this house either when there's police stomping around. Luckily,
oh,
I called her and she came right to me. Sweetheart, thank you very much for that, Coots.
Oof. If cops came through my house, dude, I can't imagine the people who end up losing dogs to cops coming through houses, especially if the cops aren't.
Oh my god, that has gotta be the most infuriating shit
not
ever.
good. Have you ever seen videos of cops like going through and like killing dogs and shit because they're getting aggressive when the cops are like bringing to the house? That's not a good meme. Yikes.
Did scratch me though. This was the most damage done to me today. Either way, an amazing thing came out of this. An amazing thing came out of this. Okay. It's not all negative, right? We're mostly negatives here. Got swatted, chest turning, got delayed.
Bring back the Japanese Empire?
Is there any request that happens? I don't think so. They usually have immunity for stuff like that, unless they're like
through every room, right?
fucking up.
In one of the rooms they have to go in is our
Rise Up
do the
of
yard
India?
podcast. So somehow,
Reunite?
while walking through the yard set, they just fell through
Mongolian
our
Retribution?
Just fell through it. Look
NA
at all the
cops.
damage they did.
Iranian
falling
cops.
through.
Supremacy?
How do you do that?
Oh no.
You've been recording there for months. So now I get to get paid by the police department.
Nice. Oh.
Which I think technically is me still paying for myself because it's probably through tax dollars regardless, but hey, still goes right back
Turkish
to my pocket.
Retribution?
Shit. Anyway,
Italian Supremacy?
that was it.
I don't know.
I am fine. I am healthy. I am in good spirits. That's about all. I'll probably never talk about it again. Just to be honest, if that's chill with you guys. All you little drama cats, pee poof now, disperse into the atmosphere where you came from. All right, go off into the void. Goodbye. See you later. Goodbye. Goodbye, drama cats. Goodbye, little kittens.
Bye. Damn.
Inflation in the United
Okay,
States
where are we watching this video? I'm sorry, I got distracted yesterday. There's shit going on.
is soaring to its highest level in 4 decades.
What is the goal of swatting? When you swat, you call, and the goal is to make it so that there's a situation where I think it's usually somebody's already been harmed, somebody is in the likelihood going to be harmed soon, and if the cops don't respond immediately with violent force, somebody's gonna die. There's an active weapon or something on site. The goal is usually when you swat somebody, you want somebody to break down the door, confront the streamer or person with weapons, and possibly get somebody hurt or killed. It's like the goal when you swat somebody.
A great gifted economist at the Federal Reserve.
No government any more than any one of us likes to take responsibility for bad things.
Look, we need to talk about inflation, and specifically about why it seems to be such a mystery to economists and central bankers. For example, here you see inflation in the Eurozone, and these were the European Central Bank's inflation forecasts. As you can see, they consistently expected inflation to subside, while it only got worse. Similarly, before the pandemic, inflation remained stubbornly low, and the same economists kept predicting that inflation would go back up.
What happened,
economists?
economists?
Unique to Europe. Recently, the chairman of the U.S. Federal Reserve Bank, Jerome Powell, shocked the world when he said,
I think we now understand better how little we understand about inflation.
That's not very reassuring.
and since there are plenty of theories about
True.
inflation, that got me wondering, why is inflation still a mystery to central bankers? To answer that question, we first need to understand how the current theory of inflation was forged during a great scientific battle. A battle that saw monetarists such as Milton Friedman defeat the Keynesians, only to then be defeated by the new Keynesians, which are now battling new theories such as modern monetary theory and the fiscal theory of the price level. Let's start at the beginning.
Oh
In the
shit,
1970s,
Dan music.
the world of macroeconomics was basically on fire. At this time, the world's advanced economies were plagued by a scourge of inflation combined with super high unemployment. But according to the Keynesian economists of the time, this combination should not have been possible. You see, in 1958, an economist called William Phillips discovered that historically there was a remarkably stable relationship between unemployment and inflation. This observation was then incorporated into the theoretical framework that was inspired by the world-famous economist John Maynard Keynes. These Keynesian economists were very much concerned with stabilizing unemployment at a very low level. So it seems weird to view inflation as a consequence of too many employment opportunities. However, it does make sense if you view the rise of all prices simultaneously as the consequence of overall demand outpacing overall supply. After all, if almost everybody is already employed, you cannot really make more stuff. Or as economists would say, supply is constrained. At the same time, with so many workers employed, demand is at an all-time high. And with overall demand higher than overall supply, it makes sense that prices will go up. However, during the oil crisis of the 1970s, the US experienced double-digit inflation while unemployment reached all-time highs of 7.5%. This rare combination of stagnation and inflation came to be known as stagflation. And I know that many people think that economists are not real scientists, but as should be the case in science, the old Keynesian theory not fitting the data meant that the field was wide open for new challengers.
Jesus!
The challengers that initially seemed to come out on top were the monetarists, and their champion was Chicago professor Milton Friedman.
Can you tell what that
This is a
noise
garbage
Literal
tree.
Hitler, guys.
I've made a mistake.
Printed.
The charismatic professor seemed to have all the answers. According to him, inflation was actually a simple problem.
Does the man have one that's cool?
Toward understanding the cause of inflation
No, it's...
is to recognize that it is always and everywhere a monetary phenomenon.
It's a default. It's just default.
Too much money. Of a more rapid increase in the quantity of money.
Saudi Arabia has one. Can I play them, I guess? Iraq? You got one.
Is to recognize that today governments control the quantity of money.
Like the Phillips curve, this theory made intuitive sense. If all prices rise, that must mean that the value of money is actually going down. The central bank creates money, so if there is inflation, that must mean that the central bank is simply printing too much money. Working in favor of this theory was also built on a long intellectual tradition. You see, in the 18th century, famous philosopher and also economist David Hume already imagined a simple economy in which money was basically gold. If the quantity of gold was unexpectedly increased,
Unite the Gulf states.
Consequence is that the value of gold might drop compared to goods. Most economists believe that this is exactly what happened in Europe right after the Spanish discovered silver and gold in South America. A sudden increase in the quantity of money naturally meant higher prices in Europe. What's more, this theory could also explain the Phillips curve relationship between unemployment and inflation. After all, a sudden increase in the quantity of money cannot lead to more production if everyone is already employed. So it would likely just lead to more demand and therefore higher prices. Finally, the monetarists recognized that if the economy was to grow at a steady rate, then money also needed to increase at a steady rate to keep prices stable. So to prevent inflation, the solution would simply be to increase the quantity of money in the economy at some optimal rate. And actually, quite a few central bankers were convinced. For example, in 1979, the Bank of England set itself a target to increase the broad money supply by 7 to 11%. There was just one problem. The UK broad money supply increased by a whopping 22%, double the target, and that was a bit confusing to the monetarists. So why did this happen? Well, likely because the UK economy of the late 70s was not comparable to a simple gold coin economy. If we look at the composition of the money supply target in the UK in 1979, you will see that less than 11% was created by the central bank, a trend that only got worse since then.
Couldn't we... I don't know why I'm asking this question in chat. Couldn't we hypothesize like barter economies or something that would still theoretically experience inflation due to like the different demands of different types of goods or services or whatever? Like, not necessarily just due to Oh shit.
Wait, what?
Wait, hold on.
Am I okay?
Jesus. Sorry.
Oh, I have to use. Oh, I have to go through Saudi Arabia, not
Friedman's
Iraq.
simple economy, they lived in an economy that was dominated by credit money.
Why did
In
I
modern
think
economies,
this?
money is
No, that's
issued
not
as
true.
credit, not just by central banks, but primarily by
Wait, what the
private
fuck?
banks and other financial institutions. And a crucial difference between credit money and gold is that credit money is
Oh,
typically
they just have a
created by
basic-
banks to make new production possible. For example, in the form of a business loan for a new factory. So sure, a random gold discovery in medieval times may have only increased demand in Europe's economy, but not supply, causing inflation. But a line of credit to build a business will likely lead to more production and demand at the same time. It is therefore less likely to cause all prices to rise. Now, of course, central bankers could get closer to Friedman's imagined economy by taking away this power from financial institutions. They even tried this in the US with the Monetary Control Act of 1980. However, that failed because financial institutions soon found clever ways around them by creating new forms of credit money. In other words, to enact Friedman's plan, central bankers needed to be willing to basically break the financial system. A system that central banks were created to prevent from collapse.
Shut up! I don't care anymore.
Driven now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think one of the stumbling blocks that you'll probably continue to run into is people are going to tell you, well, you know, you might not like the sort of anti-women incel.
And now, my dear audience, a scientific demonstration of the steps forward Madden has taken.
Sure.
Yo, what's going on, guys? My name's Chevalric, and
Oh,
today
let's
we
find out
have
a
a bit
free-to-play
of
RuneScape.
a
Still
different
here.
video. This is a bit of a hybrid between a money-making guide and a progression series, and just a kind of walk-through, walk-along video on free-to-play, how I'm experiencing it, how much fun I'm having. I just want to say this is a one-off video. If there's more demand for this type of video, let me know. Free-to-play videos, that is, even the progress series or just regular guides or whatever, let me know in the comment section down below. It's just for a little bit of fun, and as I said, it's just a one-off video. I had a lot of fun making this. For the Bibles, I did fund myself from my main, but all those money makers are attainable within members. I just wanted to do them in bigger batches, and I just wanted to make the video and get it done in a reasonable amount of time. So if you see me with some supplies throughout the video, that's why. But I really hope you guys do enjoy it. Let me know in the comment section down below what you think of this concept. Leave a like, subscribe if you're new. Let's get into it. Hope you enjoy. So I think our first order of business is getting 15 woodcutting, or just getting a woodcutting level up to begin with, and to be able to get better access and make a little bit of starting cash. I might actually transfer some money over from my main account in the long run, but I first want to kind of start off and see where I can get, kind of like Iron Man mode and doing the Stronghold of Security in a little bit as well, and just see how it pretty much goes. Just one step at a time. But as I said, I might actually transfer money over on my main. Might not be hundreds and hundreds of mils, but maybe like 1 mil, 10 mil, whatever. It's just for fun. Doing something very, very important, so I can't access. I nearly already misclicked.
Yeah,
this
empower
rabbit, and that
liberals.
could have literally leveled
Bring them in.
to level 2 combat, and I would have to start a new account. But I turned it off, so we're good. Also, level 5 woodcutting. So 1 inventory of logs just got me over pretty much 8 woodcutting, given this is during double experience, which in free-to-play is 1.2 times experience. But let me show you something I've noticed when even being a member and getting a log drop. 1 inventory of log is 28 KGP. Let's see if we can actually sell it. Also, never forget to activate a lodestone. Lodestones are huge for transportation throughout RuneScape. I don't know what I would do without them. Yo, Jam Giggle. This music ain't it. Literally, bro. This is terrible. But tell me about the Grand Exchange so I can make money. Alright, let's sell all our logs and see how much money we make. It doesn't sell. Let me lower the price real quick. And on GP would be nice. 25k. Easy 27k made in one inventory. Let's get some more inventories done. Let me actually get something real quick. Okay, that was a struggle. So the Rune Hatchet wasn't buying off the Grand Exchange. It eventually bought for 40k. I bought it on my main. Just gave my main 10k and just bought it for the Grand Exchange price plus 2k. But if you add a Rune Hatchet to your tool belt in RuneScape, you will actually be able to get all the tiers of hatchet. So you only really have to have one hatchet on your tool belt, and then as soon as you get the level to use an iron, steel, mithril, whatever, it just automatically upgrades. It's a very, very nice upgrade, and it only costs 10k. Well, apparently 40k on the G, but it should only be costing 8 to 10k, especially if you buy it from the shop in the Champions Guild. There's also 9 woodcutting. The first double-digit skill, 10 woodcutting. Biggest money maker at the moment. Let's go on with this for a little bit. There's 15 woodcutting. We'll be switching to oak trees and comparing the money coming from both trees. See how it goes. I hope you can't hear the ice cream truck in the background, by the way. If you did, and this part makes it into the video, absolute nightmare for you. Absolute nightmare for you. 30 woodcutting.
Absolute.
Willow trees.
I don't know why I clicked on this.
Welcome back. All right, so my fandom and what I'm looking forward to this coming season. My fandom stays basically the same in that the top 3 teams never really change. And I get this question in the live stream, so I figured I'll do a video here on it. Vancouver is, if there's a favorite team, it's Vancouver. For better and for worse, it's Vancouver. Boston would be number 2 on the list, and Dallas number 3. The Dallas Stars, that extends back to the Minnesota North Stars back in the 80s. If I'm trying to pick a year, 1981 for the North Stars. It'd be like 1981 as well. I've talked about how 1982, when the Canucks went on that run to the final, I got really excited and I got really into it. But I remember watching games I remember them losing to Buffalo in the first round. And watching a game in that series and being kind of disappointed because clearly Buffalo was way ahead of them at that point. And then for Boston, it was, I believe, 1987. So I get a lot of the comments of, well, you can't cheer for 3 teams. Well, you go get a time machine, get yourself a DeLorean, go back to the 80s and tell 8-year-old me and 14-year-old me that I'm not allowed to do that because 8-year-old me wasn't aware of all these rules about being a fan. I wasn't aware that you had to decide one team and that's just it. That argument's been made plenty of times over, and I've explained my position on it, which is no. Just my position is no. The Ottawa Senators would be number 4. The Senators have flirted with being number 3 at times, but it's never really quite happened. You just don't forget your first 3 loves, right? So for the Senators, it's really been since they came in as an expansion team and won 10 games that year. But yeah, jerseys were nice. So for the Ottawa Senators, it's been some ups and downs, and I will agree with people that Eugene Melnyk made it difficult over the last 4 or 5 years. And then, Melnyk's passing, it feels like has made Ottawa better in that they've loosened up their purse strings, but that was expected anyways by now. And the expectation was that the Senators would start getting better. And Melnyk had already said he was going to spend money, and he had before. As cheap as things may have looked 5 years ago, he had spent money on the team before. And then fifth on the board, Florida. Florida has at times been as high as 4th in terms of my favorite team. But it gets murky after that. It just does. It depends on the situation. It depends on the night. And really, I've had games where I cheer for goals by both.
Canadian labs?
It's interesting because
well, I just have to.
We've done live streams during hockey games.
We're making APCs. Yeah, for sure.
I don't really show much of a reaction. I do my best not to show much of a reaction. When the camera's not on, I can react. I can just be a fan. When the camera's on, I realize, I'm at that point projecting out to the internet There's a certain decorum I need to show and that kind of thing, and I think that's really important. So you might get a fist pump from me if a team I cheer for scores, maybe a little bit of a dance. If a team I cheer for gets a game-winning goal in overtime, but it's muted compared to most. I would say most sports fans. And I think one of the reasons why the channel has worked is because I've always had an interest in the entire league. And that interest in the entire league, I'm going to go ahead, put this on the LA Kings. It was the LA Kings, and this was before they won that Stanley Cup in 2012. I think it was 09. I want to say it was 09, that the first time I'd had the NHL Center Ice package through my cable provider. So early in the season, it was free, right? So it was free, and I was thinking, you know, I've watched the Canucks lose a lot. Maybe I want to watch something. I want to watch a game that I don't have to have an emotional investment in. And honestly, that can be great. One of the reasons that I enjoyed having the NHL Center Ice package before I had a channel, there were two things. First off, then I could watch the Bruins every night. That was fun. That was great. I also could find new teams. And I remember the LA Kings. I remember going to my workplace and saying, you know what team's a lot of fun to watch is the LA Kings. And they were a really fun young team to watch. And I want to say 09. And I felt like, you know, if these guys put it together, they could win a Stanley Cup at some point. Now, that is definitely one of those things you want to put an asterisk next to, because when Roberto Luongo came to Vancouver, my prediction at that point was that I felt Vancouver would win a Stanley Cup with Roberto Luongo. They got within a game of it. They never did win it. And one of the reasons why I was so gung-ho for adding him and what I thought Luongo could bring was because the West Coast Express era for Vancouver was a goaltender away, I felt, was a goaltender away from potentially winning a Stanley Cup. And I mean, I've gone through in videos before how close certain teams have been, especially when I talk about the curse in Canada and how Canadian teams don't win Stanley Cups, and just how close a lot of teams have been, right? Including Vancouver. But there really hasn't been a huge shakeup in terms of my favorite teams for a long time. Vancouver tried. The Benning Travis Green era really tried my patience. As was said by Sam Jackson in Pulp Fiction, I'm trying real hard, Ringo. Trying real hard to be the shepherd. And I was. But again, I tried to make sure that didn't come through in the videos. When I was doing reviews and things of that nature, there might be a snide remark here and there, but I tried to keep it out. But what's interesting to me is that and I'm just thinking over the last week, the who does Shannon hate side of things, not necessarily Rangers. I've seen it with New Jersey, see it with the Blues every now and then. The Ducks, and the reason I'm wearing Ducks is because Ducks fans had a legit reason to say that back in 2016 when the channel started up, because I hated the Ducks. Couldn't stand them. Absolutely could not stand the Ducks. And that was a change from during the Paul Kariya era, where I liked the Ducks. And it does change back and forth, and it's something that I don't really get into on the channel very much. Because again, when I deliver videos and when I do reviews, previews, this kind of thing, I want to make sure that people don't know. And what I've done too the last couple of years is that after the first round of the playoffs is over, yeah, I'll post a video for members and for patrons of the channel saying, here's who I was cheering for in the first round. And it's almost never the teams that people think I'm cheering for. And it's, you know, and it's always kind of funny to me because I'll see people saying, oh, you've got to be really mad because this team won the game tonight. Man, that must have really ticked you off. I know how much you hate them. And in reality, I was happy and I applauded the victory, or I cheered the victory. I was happy for the team. But again, once that perception's there, and if I could go back and do it all over, start from the very beginning, I likely would have just said my favorite team's Vancouver. I would have mentioned Boston and Dallas. And
okay, never mind.
I am a hockey fan first. It's why this works, I think. And honestly, because I had thought about this, and I thought, well, you know, Shannon, you could try to figure out who you'd be cheering for this coming season. But I don't know. I don't know until it happens. The 2006 Stanley Cup Final. Carolina was against Edmonton. And I've talked about this one before, but it was the most dramatic example where I remember going into that series and I thought, okay, Carolina, The Hurricanes, I can't cheer for them against Edmonton, right? Edmonton's a Canadian team. It's a small market. It's this great underdog story. I think it would be great if Edmonton won a Stanley Cup and then Carolina scored a goal and I cheered and I went, oh, not so much for that. Because even though I tried to talk myself into it, I still really wanted to see Carolina win their first Stanley Cup. Because I'd seen Edmonton win 5 and I'd never seen Carolina win 1, and I thought it would be fun. And I liked the players on the Carolina Hurricanes. I thought they had a good team. And I thought on some level they were kind of more underdogs than were the Oilers. And again, the Oilers, it was an underdog run. They got in. I'm pretty sure they were the last seed to get in the West. But no one expected Carolina to be there. So when the Stanley Cup final got started, whoops. This past Stanley Cup final between Colorado and Tampa, honestly, I absolutely loved the hockey. I thought the hockey was great, but one thing I kept saying to see if I can come up with it. San Jose. Who else? Of course, Pitt. It doesn't matter what happened in the... Yeah, I were in 20 teams. Has knocked Vancouver. Montreal has had their way with Vancouver in interconference play, and of course, in 2020, 2021, they whooped them a few times. Colorado has knocked Vancouver out of the playoffs a couple of times as well, and did it in pretty impressive fashion. The Edmonton Oilers owned the Canucks for parts of the 80s. They've owned them for recent years as well. The Winnipeg Jets at points have been very good against the Canucks in the regular season. The Calgary Flames, I don't think any team's knocked out Vancouver as much as Calgary has. You know what frustrated me with St. Louis was when St. Louis wasn't a very good team and Vancouver was, it still felt like Vancouver always played down to them, which is a frustration I have with Vancouver. Like, all right, well, come on, guys, St. Louis has been down and out. No, never mind, we got shut out by Curtis Sanford. It's like, oh, the Nordiques are coming in. Oh, we lost to the Nordiques, which just remarkable. And then, I mean, Vegas at times is doing pretty. But yeah, I mean, the Jets I could see being much because I'm drawing a blank at this point. But I'm sure we could find an excuse to make it so that if the reality is, well, Shannon doesn't like a team that beats Vancouver.
Okay?
Yeah, your mic is blown the fuck out. Turn it up like 20%, but your shit is fucked, my friend.
How about now?
Yeah, it's okay. What do you got?
Okay. You've been getting piled on the last few days about platforming Nick Fuentes or platforming a conservative. Period.
Yeah.
I just want to come on and say, I'm a conservative, more center right now than I have ever been.
Platform manager. I feel like I do, but
more center right is in more center than you ever have been, or more right than you ever have been.
More center.
Okay, gotcha.
More center.
Okay.
Yeah. And that's based mostly because of you, right? Nice. So I've been watching you for about 3 or 4 years now. Mm-hmm. I can't remember who it was you were debating at the time. It was another conservative. Mm-hmm. I thought, I'm gonna go check him out. So I started watching a lot of your videos, watching your streams, things of that nature. Mm-hmm. And I'm still, mostly conservative on the fiscal side, sure, but I'm way more socially liberal than I ever have been in my entire life. Okay. And I attribute a lot of that to you. I'm your typical mid 40s white guy, fairly wealthy. And I used to
Midwest, or where are you from?
I'm in the Midwest. Okay. I'm in Kentucky.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So, growing up, I'm really strong. I was Catholic, went to Catholic school, everything like that. So brought up around religion, and so my whole family was conservative. They're all Republicans, that type of thing. And so, just my views have changed a lot.
Sure. Okay.
Over the years, and I just want to encourage you. I think you're uniquely positioned to talk to both sides. I think that it's very important that we talk to each other. That's not going on nowadays, and I think that's a big reason for the divide that we have.
Mm-hmm.
And we have so many people that are in echo chambers, right? They only hear from the people that they agree with, and that's all they care to hear about. They block them on Twitter, they block them on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen people actually lose friends that they've had for 20 or 30 years just because of different political views.
Yeah.
Right? So I just believe what you're doing is correct. I think there needs to be dialogue, even to the extremes on each end, the right and the left. We've got to bring these people more towards the center and start having discussions about, the issues that we're having. And so I just want to encourage you to keep doing that. I know you're getting shit on. I've seen you getting shit on for the last 3-4 days. Mr. Girl was really unhappy about it. I just think he's whining. He's just.
I mean, they have like legitimate criticisms, but yeah, I wouldn't say I'm getting shit on. I'm getting like good pushback. That's fine.
Yeah, I
know
some legitimate concerns, right? You really think
Literal fucking
Nick Fuentes is going to become a dictator and kill all the Jews?
Know if I should actually like sit down and write formal pieces. Like that would be how it might come out in a personal sense. Now, if
Projecting or
faded away and Max is to understand the complexity. Are you serious?
Are you out of your mind? Fuck. Stop. Let me.
It actually reminded me of how Vosh often goes to say that words don't mean anything. Language is complicated route of when not knowing what to say. Dude, I Did this person block me? FK, Puggy Gups. Puggy Gups. Puggy Gups. Wake up. Wake up. Bed, Pug. Did this person block me?
One. Imminent center.
Just fucks my whole mind up. Fucks my mind up.
Fuck you, Flower. I hope everyone
Jesus
knows
Christ.
die alone. Sad.
How are you living in
Flower?
actual trash, dude? Like, I feel bad. I have a plate and a cup here because I just ate, and
The worst thing that you guys don't know, and
I
this
have a
isn't
full-
to call it to her in particular. It's called the girls in
I've
general.
unsubscribed many.
is I have a trash can that's full here and another trash can that's full there, and I need to empty this out. And like, I feel bad that I have like some boxes on the ground or whatever, but like, Jesus fucking, it's actual trash.
times just to become a tier 1
My brother
I've
does.
considered not donating a stupid meme time and time again. Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back
I
in.
was like watching a video of some
I
shit.
wish I knew how to
Showing her
quit
shit.
you
It's just
see.
garbage.
I'm just a Eurocuck with a Eurocuck.
The thing is, I bet she still wears clothes from this floor, 100%.
I mean,
Literally, chat, my room is way too small. I think I have an actual problem.
I think your room is not too small. You're just filled with trash.
You do. Oh! 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 I'm sorry. Okay. I might have to rewatch my combo yesterday.
Good job. You got a 920. Got a 927,
Okay.
DesTiny.
Slob because that's just. Maybe she's a slob because that's just her culture.
Ooh.
Steven feels weird, man.
Not bad. Not bad. I'm a machine in the morning. That's my best one yet. Screenshot
That's your
it.
best one.
Okay.
Cringe. Best one I have. I'm not even
Screenshot
musically inclined at all. 9:27. We'll do it right now.
Okay. I might have to rewatch my combo yesterday. I don't know if my subreddit hates...
Shut the fuck up. I don't know about this one. Wow, that was... What the hell just happened? That's actually not even close, dude. Okay, thank you. I don't know what the fuck just happened on the first one. That was so weird. I don't know if I was actually missing... I think I was actually missing my spacebar. I don't think I was registering any hits. No, this is off. Yeah, terrible. What is happening in the first part? That's so weird. I don't know why it's doing that. Fuck. It's really bad. This is terrible. That was really bad too, yeah. Wow. What? Like, what's this? This doesn't even make sense. I feel like it's glitched. That's actually way off. Hold on. Yeah, this one. Oh, you know what it is? And I felt it too. I'm hitting the other key. So what's happening is I'm hitting my spacebar. I'm accidentally hitting like the B or the N key. So it's registering 2 clicks. Oh, and it's just totally throwing off the... Fuck. I'm wondering how I got, how did I get like 920 or 927? Wow, that was terrible. I was talking though, so. So off. It's actually horrible. It's not even gonna be close. Oh, that was okay. Shit! I could tell I fucked it up. Look. I felt myself pressing on a button. God damn it. At this point, I'm just missing my fucking keyboard. Oh! God damn it. I just missed. I literally missed keys. Better. Okay! That'll get better than that. I'll do it. Yeah, look, it's gonna be bad right here. Look at that. What an idiot. I'm leaving it there. I got a 927 before. I'll take that for now.
To me. Or if they're a different set of viewers entirely, or if it's people that are just getting clips, or if it's Brigaded by Mr. Girl fans, or if I legitimately am just getting like such an off read on conversations. I just might have a really rough read on my convos. Let me yoink up my AC. Hold on.
Why 100K? Describe your way to verification. Isn't that how it works?
Let me start off by saying,
You could learn a lot from him.
Carrington.
Let me start off by saying I
love women.
I like Mr. Girl. We're friends. I appreciate pushback, even though I don't like criticism or whatever.
I suppose
So-
you're here for my medical services.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday in the conversation with him, I'm pretty sure he talked for 80% of the
Nothing that
time.
would interest
Number
you?
one.
Not interested.
Also, he
Very
accused me
well.
multiple times of being bad faith and dishonest and cowardly, even though I'll bring him on as many times as he wants to have the conversation. Okay? And then
Sorry.
he also accused me like 10 times of gaslighting. What the fuck? And I'm like, I'm trying so hard to write down, like, bro, I'm writing down everything you're saying. And I'm asking, is it okay if I say that? And then I'm letting him talk for like 5 to 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, but I'm trying to fight, or I'm letting him talk for like 5 minutes.
Use the baggage.
And then I try to talk for like 20 seconds and then I get off. I get cut off, and then he calls me cowardly for not answering the question. It's like, bro, I can't even speak. And then people are coming to my subreddit, and when DesTiny doesn't know how to respond, he just obfuscates. Bro, I don't have time to talk. I don't have time to say anything. I can't even speak. Max is really pushing DesTiny up against the wall on whether or not DesTiny regards Nick to be a Nazi or not. And then all of a sudden, the world becomes so complicated.
Sounds exactly like something a gaslighting coward would say.
Suddenly, out comes a philosophy of language conversation. Suddenly, the legitimate disagreement has faded away, and Max is to understand the complexity. Are you serious?
Are you serious?
It actually reminded me of how Vosh often goes to say that words don't mean anything, language is complicated route of when not knowing what to say.
True.
Dude, I tried so many times yesterday to like, bro, I'm writing down exactly what you're saying. I'm trying to respond to exactly, and I can't talk at all, and I'm getting interrupted so many times. It's like unbelievable. Holy shit. It just shows how strong and consistent Max was being. What got me was when DesTiny was being adamant about not labeling Nick a Nazi. Then when Max brings up that he called him a Nazi on Twitter, it's like an immediate goalpost shifting. I like DesTiny a lot, I respect a lot, but him not being able to concede when he's clearly in the wrong is brutal to watch. I used to think it was one of his strengths. And I can't even ban these people now because Mr. Girl will throw a fucking fit over it. Like, dude, I'm not being able to I'm trying so hard. Yeah, I don't know, fuck. It almost feels like the Sam Cedar convo where like, I'm trying to write things down. I'm trying to respond point by point. I'm trying to be clear and concise to everything we're going. I'm actually like, you're a gaslighter. You're gaslighting me, and you are being abusive, and you're a gaslighter, and you're cowardly, and and I'm like, bro, I'm trying so are you serious? It's like unreal. I don't know if I need to just start like, I think in the combos, I'm not gonna let him interrupt as much. When I talk to him in the future, I think I'm just gonna be like, hey, stop. I'm gonna start like shouting over him because like the amount of like being talked over, and then also, I think I'm gonna start, this might be a new rule that I have in general. I think I'm gonna establish this for convos. As soon as somebody drops a bad faith or dishonest or gaslighting or whatever accusation, they either have to walk it back immediately or I'm just gonna cut the convo off. Because like for the last half of the convo, he's literally accusing me of lying the entire time. And people are still saying like, yeah, Max is being super consistent here. What? Are you serious? He's accusing me of fucking lying. I can't say anything at this point. Like, Jesus. Yeah, I don't know. Holy shit. Mr. Girl starts cutting people off when he says he's not getting the answer he wants. Yeah, I know, but it's because he thinks he's like divined an answer from my head and he's just waiting to hear that answer. I'm pretty disappointed we've gotten to Wittgensteinian word games. This is literally a theory to hand wave away all of philosophy as a field. Every philosophical problem is no longer even possibly solvable, and we need to make major claims about other domains as a consequence of our theory of language. Jesus Christ. The philosophy of language meme is funny because DesTiny acts like he's reached an unprecedented understanding, when the reality is that he's gotten worse at language games, and it is causing confusion among his audience and the people he talks to. My favorite thing about that last convo was there were like 7 different definitions of Nazi that were floated around, and both ABBA and fucking Gideon had no fucking idea what Nazi technically even meant, and they said that their audiences wouldn't know what Nazi meant. And then Max went on to say, well, actually, if you would ask a normal person in the street, you guys are online too much. If you ask a normal person, what does communist or Nazi mean? They'd be able to tell you. Bro, I grew up in fucking the Republican Party. Every single fucking Republican in the fucking neocon era thought every single Democrat was a fucking communist. What the fuck are you talking about? We literally had a whole red scare in this country where every fucking left-leaning person was called a fucking communist. How could you say that? Oh my god.
Where the fuck did you come from? Jesus!
I like to call this the not so erudite move. Whenever you lose a debate, just start vaguely gesturing at nuance.
Why is that the not so erudite move?
Just so you guys know, Mr. Girl getting mad yesterday, me locking that thread or whatever, or deleting that thread, is the only reason why I haven't banned like 20 people in this thread. So all of you are safe in here today, just so you guys know.
Yo, I can feel
DesTiny, the convo was fine. I think stuff went in circles because Mr. Girl didn't trust.
No, I did it in a loading screen. No,
no, you are wrong. The convo was not fine. The convo was a dumpster fire, and it was 100% because of Max's unwillingness to engage with what I was saying. You are wrong. I'm not gonna both sides of that conversation.
True.
I tried really fucking hard to write down every single fucking point, and I told him I'm gonna respond to everything he said. If you want to go point by point, we can, but I need shorter responses. I repeated that like 5 or 10 times. I said, hold on, I need to respond to this. Hold on, I need to respond to this. I would write down 7 things he would say, and he would try to interrupt me at every single point, every single fucking point. I'd be like, okay, well here's point 1. No, hold on, let me finish. Okay, so this is my response to point 1. Okay, now here's hold on, let me finish. Here's my response. Hold on, let me finish. 13. Like every single fucking time, it was impossible.
What the fuck?
And then he was accusing me of gaslighting. Bro, anytime somebody says gaslighting, like fucking 10 times in the conversation, are you serious? I'm literally writing down the fucking exact words that you were saying. I'm asking you, if you don't like agree with my characterization, then tell me, and we can change it, or we can talk about something different. Like, oh man, it's fucking frustrating. Holy shit. Unfortunately, some of this audience is under the delusion that DesTiny's motivation with Nick is some grand calculation of harm reduction versus inroads and reachability to those on the right. He half-heartedly argues this too, but unconvincingly. While he uses legitimate arguments for how to reach people with opposing views, it seems like it's nothing more than a post hoc justification or a positive byproduct of his interactions with Nick. His real motivation is one he's been saying all along, and one he's reinforced ever since he started in politics. He just wants to chat and befriend people he finds interesting. Unchallenging, I would add. Further, while he hasn't said as much lately, he used to frequently emphasize that he's not in politics to advocate any cause, but to explore arguments. Is he going to grow Nick and his platform? Almost certainly. Will he change enough right/grouper mindsets to offset that? Who knows? At the end of the day, you'll only frustrate yourself if you're expecting DesTiny to put general harm reduction concern over his own interests with this. You just have to decide if you can stomach watching him up ice cream with Fuentes.
I think I've ever been up here.
Things like this makes me think Mr. Girl is correct with his assessment that DesTiny is unintentionally or intentionally providing cover for Nick Fuentes. Because either he was being dishonest or too heated in the debate to think about this.
Why do you have so much
I was the one that was too heated? He's calling me a gaslighter like 20 times. I'm sorry, I read like all these threads this morning, so I've already read most of it. Like, Jesus Christ. There's a few people towards the bottom. It's fascinating to me how extremely different these conversations come off to people. I saw that whole exchange was unpacking how complicated the issue is for one person, while the other person wants to simplify it into an insult to justify all the baggage that gets loaded onto it. It must be unimaginably frustrating to have someone scream at you about how not seriously you're taking the conversation, only to have people claim you're obfuscating with
while you're literally writing
notes.
Take
the conversation serious enough to define your terms properly. This wasn't a casual conversation or the subject of a joke. How the word was being applied had massive implications to the way they continued that conversation, because it meant Mr. Girl could assume the outcomes and policies Nick wanted instead of dealing with the individual outcomes of policies themselves. Jesus. If you don't think Max didn't understand DesTiny's point of view, which you summarized here in the first 5 minutes of the previous conversation, not even this one, then you don't understand anything about how Max operates.
Everything's so laggy up here, bro. Ruined skyscraper, that's for sure.
Jesus.
I feel like they should have made the game more accessible from like up here. Like below is like more ruined, but I don't know. It just feels so bad to like running, like you're really running around in trash.
Specialist coming is good. Where is that? Where? Oh. It's not good. This is a trash comment. What do you mean?
Oh my god, he said trash, I said trash? Oh my god. We're like the same.
There were like 5 threads in here that were like, oh god, so good. Holy shit. Abba and Gideon proved Mr. Girl right. They showed how the average person would just hand wave away all the crazy shit Fuentes believes in because there is no way he will ever do what he wants, and there is no way someone would actually be convinced by what he's saying. They would just join the joke and treat it like it was a big meme competition. How do you even walk away with this idea? When I thought the whole thing that Abba and Gideon were saying, oh yeah, when you call someone a Nazi, that doesn't mean anything to me. Like, I just think that they're like a fucking, fuck, what do they say? I don't even remember what, I don't remember what Abba said. Like,
Stars come out.
Jesus, this whole argument is so trash.
We must speak quickly. We cannot risk being discovered.
DesTiny, your opinion on how to go about Nick is correct. You seem to not be reaching a lot of people with your explanation. What are they missing, you think? I don't know. You can go watch my conversation with Urk yesterday if you want. Even explaining it makes me sound pretentious, but I don't even like to dive into it. It's just, language is very, very, very complicated, but everybody thinks that language is like very simple. And the problem is that everybody practices language even without understanding it. And so it's very autistic to try to even have a debate. I actually like this. I like this arc because in a way, one, I've gathered more information over the past month or two about language in general. And then two, I can go all the way back to Matt Walsh's documentary and I can see how like everything is connected. I'm having a V for Vendetta moment. What is a woman? Well,
more of my people would join us.
When people are pushing for like rigid definitions for words that apply in all contexts, that there's some conventional use that applies to all contexts, it's just not how language works. That's just not how we use words ever. And these labels like Nazi or fascist or any of this shit don't escape that. It's the same shit. Or pedophile or groomer or anything else. But then if I say that, I sound like I'm obfuscating, I guess. So.
I admire Mr. Beignet a great deal. We can't tell him about this plan. It's his people we'll be fighting. I will talk to my friends. Meet me here tomorrow.
Something I haven't seen pointed out about the Mr. Girl Fuentes debate. I could be wrong, but my impression is that is unwilling to actually discuss in a debate with Nick's true beliefs are in simply throwing out and calling the Nazi optic looks weak and pathetic. I could be wrong, but my impression is Mr. Girl's... Oh, I don't think there's anything soy about calling someone a Nazi if you want to. He wants to use quotes from Nick, probably highlight his jokes, and he interprets his true beliefs. Then he calls him a Nazi, and that goes any further. Well, Max, if that's your bar for calling someone a Nazi, what's the difference between that and someone calling you a pedophile for saying a 12-year-old is hot? Without his credibility and willingness to talk... I already said this, but he said it's different because he's not actually a pedophile and Nick is a Nazi or something, or not. I don't know. I don't know. Jesus, man.
Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Do you think you have an example of a person you would label a Nazi by your own definition? I think I said years ago. I think I said like 3 or 4 years ago that I kind of stopped
you were complaining
using
about the meta conversation and how you were called a weasel when we all know you never care about that shit. When you feel like you're correct, you will always talk about the arguments made. Feels like a misdirection.
Like, I feel like 4 or 5 years ago even, or 3 or 4 years ago, when the Trump stuff started to get more popular, I started to say that, like, you could probably find old YouTube videos talking about it, that I kind of dropped things like progressive or conservative or liberal or whatever. Like, I know I still I play with these words a little bit, but every time they're brought up in a conversation, I have to go forward and, like, clarify more to me. Like, oh, what is your political beliefs? I'm, like, a progressive, but I'm not, like, a crazy far-left progressive. Like you have to, like, these words just, they mean so many different things in so many different contexts, depending on their use, that... when I say a word, it doesn't really invoke much meaning anymore, or it invokes too much meaning, or I lose control of the meaning that it invokes. Like when I use the word toxic in front of Sneeko, I've instantly like invoked a whole bunch of stuff that I didn't mean to or didn't want to, and it triggered him out of the rest of that conversation like a month ago or a few weeks ago or whatever, right?
Yeah, it's like if I have to learn that. I don't even need to learn it. It's Twitter, but like people will do that when I call them bozo on Twitter. Or I called that guy in chat punk, and he was over. And it's like you just have to, unironically, have to walk baby steps.
A critical engagement with DesTiny and Mr. Girl's debate on the label Nazi. 9 upvotes. Oh shit, this one must have agreed with me. 9 upvotes. Maybe it was written like shit. Oh, here's one thing though, because even if I think that people are being fucking lunatics, I shouldn't say lunatics. I will try to, I'll try to extract something. I do use two radically different standards between posts about other people and posts about me. If you guys are critiquing other people and you're saying like, oh, like somebody pointed out there's some guy saying like, oh, Max like a man child or a man baby or blah, blah, blah. Don't do that. That shit's not gonna be allowed in the subreddit either. You guys shouldn't be doing that. I'm gonna try to read posts more as though they were written about me. So when you're criticizing other people, it's not just like Avalanche or whatever. You guys shouldn't be doing that to other people as well. I let that slide too much. Or I just wasn't even aware of it before. At least you can say now your community isn't an echo chamber. I've never said that, but everybody accuses my community of being an echo chamber. It's so fucking stupid. Why are you so quick to say that Nick secretly really wants to genocide people in your previous comment with Mr. Girl? Do you really think he's not? The problem is like the way that he plays with the words. Everything. I don't like to try. I've said this for years. I don't like to try to guess what's in people's minds. If you ask me, does Nick want to genocide people? Truly, I don't know. If I was to guess, the chances of him wanting to genocide somebody is probably higher than the average person's, for sure. Probably higher than even the average conservatives, for sure, right? Okay, does he want to? Would he if he was a leader? Well, if Nick was actually like a big political, would he actually enact a genocide? I don't know, probably higher than the average person's. Like, what are the overall possibilities? I'm not sure. What about in Nick's ideal world? In Nick's ideal world, well, Jesus Christ, well, what all does that mean? In an ideal world of Nick, would he genocide people? I don't know. I don't know how to answer any of these questions. These are like, I don't even know if he knows the answer to these questions. The questions you're asking me are so unimaginably fucking complicated. Like, if you were to ask me a question, like, DesTiny, in your ideal world, like, would every gay couple get to adopt a child or something? Jesus, I don't know. I would have to think a lot about that. You know, children generally do better under gay couples than non-gay couples, but that might be because this is a selection bias, people that do adoptions versus people that just have kids. There's like a lot to think about there. When people hit me with those hard questions, there's two big problems. The first one is the small problem. The first small problem is that it's really hard to know the answer to that. I don't even know if he knows the answer to that. It is a highly multivariate question. There's a ton of different things that could influence the answer, a ton of different things that go into the question. I don't even know if he's thought that, number one. But number two, that's a small point. But number two, the most important thing is, who the fuck cares? I don't give a fuck what exists in the idealized version of your mind or what your ideal thing is. I'm gonna deal with the rhetoric that you have now, the statements that you make now, with the policy positions you have now. That's what I'm gonna fight because that's what you're bringing out onto the battlefield, okay? I don't wanna attack chess pieces that are in the box, okay? If you wanna come out with these positions, then we'll fight with these positions. And if you weasel away from these positions because you don't really believe them, then eventually you're gonna bring out the pieces that you actually wanna fight with. That'll happen eventually. I think I wrote a section about that in my manifesto between dog whistles and whatever, that if people want to have dog whistles, then that's fine. If you want a dog whistle, I'm just going to pretend I don't hear it and I'll just take it at face value. Someone's like, I think it's okay to be white. True, I think it is okay to be white. Okay, well, I don't like BLM. Okay, let's talk about you don't like BLM. Let's do that then. Instead of you bringing up the dog whistle of like, well, I think it's okay to be white. Oh yeah? Well, I think that means you don't like BLM. That's what Mr. Girl wants to do. You don't like BLM. Well, I never said I don't like BLM. I just said it's okay to be white. And now you're fighting that it's okay to be white. It's like, well, now you look like an asshole. I don't want to do that. Just, if people say something, attack what they say. Go after their stated positions, and either one of two things will happen. Either one, they'll defend those positions, and then you either win or lose the argument on that, or two, they don't really believe those positions as a dog whistle, and eventually they have to retreat from there to their actual positions, and you'll fight them on those grounds, okay? That's my thing. There's no purpose whatsoever in trying to divine a person's opinions, generally. There might be limited exceptions to this. So, for instance, if we're talking like entering like a long-term relationship with somebody, it might be important to try to figure it out. Or maybe like if somebody's going to be elected president, maybe it's important to figure out like, well, hold on, are they lying about this or what do they really think? Maybe. But generally, it's just not worth it when you're engaged in debates. You're like, I don't think you really think that. Well, okay, well then fight the other stuff, and then either they don't think that and they'll back off it, or they lose the argument. It sucks because Max had this exact same take in the conversation with Vosh, that he would empathize with Nazis, not label and dismiss them. Well, I mean, Mr. Girl would say he's not dismissing Nazis, he just wants to talk to them, but call them Nazis.
If we find ourselves in that position, we pull the plug and wait for another opportunity. We can't risk anyone's life over this.
Would it be possible to rescue more synths?
Those 13 synths are the only ones we're sure we can trust. If we push our luck and get the wrong synth involved, the whole thing could unravel.
I'll hold on to it. For now.
If you think that's best.
Did he label Richard Spencer a Nazi when he left him? I have no idea. I don't even know if Richard Spencer is a Nazi. Don't people shit on him for not being far right enough anymore? I have no idea. I don't know. Unless all alt-righters are Nazis, which a lot of people would probably say, but who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Nobody knows the trouble I've seen. No, but
even if Max did terrible in the convo overall, I think it's stupid to not engage with the criticism of the sub. You literally just said he cut you off for like 30 minutes, but why not engage with substance of the OP? Wait, what am I not engaging with?
Nothing to report, sir.
Do you think your audience is adequately equipped to handle an ideology you won't recognize since you are only going at them at face value for longer? Well, but that's the point. That's why I like to actually battle the ideas rather, because I don't think most people could argue against a Nazi, because most people don't even know what Nazis believe, let alone like how to take apart any of the things that they talk about. I am confident that given the opportunity, and I think I've done it with Max a few times now. I think I've done it twice now, where I don't think I did it last night, but I think I did it in a couple days ago. It's like, oh, well, let's pretend that we're a Nazi and I'm going to talk to you about your ideology. And not to dick ride or dick wave or whatever, but I'm pretty sure I crushed him at both of those conversations. I think I can make really, really good alt-right or neo-Nazi arguments or like white supremacist arguments for how society should be structured. And people have no idea how to contend with those arguments. But
every time you have.
Wait, what do you mean by Steven using his family Sunday? He had his wife and some person who she had some kind of quasi-intimate interaction with, calling each other like rapists and whatnot on stream. I think, was that this morning or was that yesterday?
no, okay.
Nobody's gross.
Calling anybody a rapist.
I just can't believe these people do this and they don't watch the clip. Bring up the clip.
Okay.
You don't.
Nobody in that entire conversation called anyone a rapist.
Jesus
just
Christ.
like retard, and they told the others to kill themselves.
Yeah, people forgot about that. Max came off really bad when he pretended to talk to DesTiny like he was a Nazi. Oh, true. Yeah, he just let me platform all of my ideas with no pushback at all. But I don't know. Wait, what is this? Okay. Categories are used in order to group certain things based on trades. What is currently utility the label Nazi? Oh, this one has 9 upvotes, so it probably dick rode me. Nice.
Nice.
Oh, these guys agreed with me. Good job. Downvote. No pro DesTiny. Oh, 9. Oh, only 9 comments. Okay, you're good. No one cares about you, fucking loser. Did this one criticize me? 210 upvotes. Maybe it did. This post is referring to DesTiny versus... Oh, I read this one in bed this morning. Oh, this is the only post. I don't know if I'm just, like, reinforcing my own...
What's happening? Ow.
When I just look for things, but... What is this stupid fucking post? I don't know if I'm just reinforcing my own beliefs, or if I'm fucking actually going schizophrenic or what. But, like... This post referring to the DesTiny vs. Mr. Girl conversation before Jenny and Abbott joined. I'm writing this post due to these posts on sub. 400 upvoted posts accusing DesTiny of obfuscating. 350 upvoted posts praising Mr. Girl for arguing about something he cares about. 250 upvoted posts mainly focusing on comments like this, praising Mr. Girl for being able to challenge and stake out points against DesTiny. You'd think that with all these posts and comments in the posts, that Mr. Girl did very good in the conversation, asking good, thought-provoking questions while DesTiny squirms in bad faith. Let me remind you what happened in the conversation. What Mr. Girl did in that conversation: interrupts Steven all the time, doesn't let Steven interrupt him. True. Uses zero charitability when engaging with Steven. Literally accuses him of gaslighting instead of thinking maybe he didn't understand my point several times and called me a coward. Literally being a debate bro, rants for 5 minutes when Steven tries to respond, interrupts him and performatively screams, "You don't have an answer, do you?" True! Doesn't believe what Steven says. How do you have a conversation when your opponent is literally lying? True. Accuses SU being too scared to respond when he literally won't even let him speak. True. DesTiny doesn't comment writes down all of Mr. Girl's points so he can respond to them.
Where the fuck is the point of this?
Gets his points out when he misunderstands what Mr. Girl says. He asks for clarifying questions instead of crucifying. I'm trying to do this. Maybe I don't do this enough. Tries to steelman Mr. Girl's arguments instead of attacking the least charitable interpretation, like Mr. Girl did. Takes the rhetorical L by letting Mr. Girl rant and rant and rant. I'm not doing this anymore. I won't let this happen anymore. Okay? Not gonna let that happen. Kill yourselves, true. While I may not fully be on Max's side of the video platforming, Nick will directly lead to more extreme classes. To understand his need. These conversations where Max has to flesh out and cover all the reasons platforming someone like Nick has risks. This is true. I actually I like having challenging conversations related to platform people. That's good. I like that I have friends that can do that. That's important to me. I think that's good. But like, people just get insane about it. And then from Max screaming like, I don't think you guys are equipped to do this. I don't think you guys are equipped to do this. Both mini Nazi convos we've had, you've gotten crushed. How are you saying I'm not equipped to do this? What are you talking about? Sorry, I'm sorry. I don't know why.
We all have our moments.
Chat, yes or no? Do you agree with anything Nick stands for or believes in? Yes or no? Mr. Girl, how can they answer? They don't even know what he believes in or stands for. If you ask him, he's going to say, well, do you believe in like being funny? Do you believe that like women are working too much and that they should get back in the kitchen, get back to more feminine roles? Here's the problem. The things they think they disagree with is like maybe him being anti-gay or him being far right or him being a Trump supporter. What? This is by far the most disingenuous moment from Max in this discussion because he's painting DesTiny's interaction with Fuentes as DesTiny basically portraying him as a tradcon, and this couldn't be further from the truth. When DesTiny first entered the call with Fuentes, Nico, Gideon, and Abba, he very clearly lays out how Nick will always prioritize pushing his ideology over telling the truth. He points out how slippery and dishonest he is with his positions. And in this very discussion, they explicitly talk about how in Fuentes' ideal world, Sneeko wouldn't exist. Oh, true, they do bring that up. Even Sneeko knew that. In what world can Mr. Girl claim that Nick has come off as a quirky, conservative incel and not a far-right fascist just because DesTiny has explicitly used the word Nazi? Everyone on that panel had a better idea of what Nick believes specifically because of the types of questions DesTiny forced him to answer on that panel. True. DesTiny again emphasizes Fuentes' dishonesty in this part of the panel, or in this part of the debate with him and Sneeko. Look, I don't think DesTiny's gender stream with Fuentes was a good idea, and it's fair to criticize him on that. But overall, DesTiny's interaction with Fuentes has been pretty exceptional. He's done about it. Thank you. Jesus Christ.
But I really do hope that the consequences are understood.
Ah, we've come full circle, jerk. Tomorrow, guys, it'll be the post. Does anybody not care that much at all about platforming or not platforming? I feel like you guys are getting way too caught up in DesTiny, engaging in the same arguments year after year, and Mr. Girl being emotional. I'm just done with it all. Why do you guys continue to obsess over this stuff? Can we move on to something important? Like Giga Chad. Like, that's tomorrow, guys. Make sure you're here for the third wave. The circle to the the anti-counter jerk. Shit, who joined?
Know that I never wanted to hurt anyone.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ?
Yeah. Did you watch that convo last night?
Yeah.
Oh my fucking god.
I
feel gaslit. Sorry.
I don't. I honestly don't know which if he's right or if he's wrong. If you're right, if you're wrong, I don't know.
Wait, right or wrong about what? That's important.
Platforming. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion on.
Sure, there's a really good.
There's
really good conversation topics to be had there. Yeah, it's a very challenging subject. Absolutely, and it demands a lot of attention. I think. Yeah.
For sure, but I think it's important. But the piece that I really felt like resonated with me that maybe didn't resonate as much with you, but as like I don't read your subreddit, but I watched you and you're going over it. I think that there is a portion of your audience that can greatly empathize with the extreme emotions that Mr. Girl is feeling.
Sure.
And that those have his emotions have a large impact on those people. And then there's people I think where that sort of emotional outburst is sort of a turnoff. And I think that's where a lot of the discourse is getting lost. In that there are just people who are very affected by the emotional state of Mr. Girl in two different ways.
Well, yeah, I think that when you get more emotional, I think it works as an intense amplifier to whichever direction you're feeling. So if you very much empathize with somebody, then crying is going to super ultra heighten your sympathy for that person. But if you're very fucking annoyed by them, then crying is going to super ultra heighten your hatred or irritability about that person, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think
wait, just to be
especially when it
clear,
comes
not to say that Mr. Girl was crying. I wasn't meaning to imply that. I was just speaking in general. Yeah, okay.
Right, but he was clearly he
was emotional,
extremely passionately.
Yeah,
and he was angry also.
Yep.
His words. I think one thing that is striking to me as a fellow empathy kind of guy, when someone is that angry,
but yeah, go ahead.
Empaths, as an empath, when someone is that angry and that emotional, and your responses are controlled and concise and very logical, I think it is just elevating the frustration of the other person.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over again, and I think where things start to really get lost is when you start to go down a logical path of what Mr. Girl has said, when what he's saying is very clearly influenced, like his direct words, you're directly quoting, you're directly responding to what he's saying. What he's saying isn't what he's trying to, it's not actually what he means, right? And it's not actually what he's saying. And so you're just responding. He feels so gaslit because in those moments, I don't want to say compromise, but his communication is definitely painted in an extreme way.
In a way, it's almost like I'm sorry. Wittgenstein's dick is literally shoved like 32 inches into my body. I'm sorry. So not to rephrase it that way, but in a way, it's like another type of like game that's being played where he's saying all of these words and he's making all of these arguments, but it almost seems like the way that I should be viewing it is he's saying like, hey, I am really hurt by you platforming this guy. It really bothers me to hear this type of rhetoric coming from somebody that you seem to be friends with on your stream. And it feels like when you're responding to me, you're not engaging with that emotional outlet at all. You're completely sidestepping and ignoring it to talk about something that's not even relevant to the convo. Whereas in my mind, that's literally the only part of the convo I'm looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think you hit it on the dot there. And I think one technique maybe that you aren't employing, if you want a little bit of advice that could help, is always ensuring that you begin with what you believe Mr. Girl has said. And even though it's going to set him off on another 5-minute tangent, I think you kind of have to, if you want the conversation to be productive, and you don't want it to just keep escalating, I'm being gaslit and you're all crazy and you can't.
Well, I'm trying to write down what he's saying, but I think that...
Right. So writing down what he is saying literally, though, is different than your interpretation of, here's what I think you meant, right?
Yeah. So what I should have done is I need to try to see, and when I say see, I mean like verbally acknowledge the emotional output more than the deductive logics of what he's saying or whatever, basically, right? Like,
right, yeah.
I understand why this would upset you. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you got a good example where, someone's saying like, I'm hungry. Are you hungry, right? And they're like, oh, are you asking me if you want to go get food, right? It's the same thing. It's like, you're not equipped to handle this conversation, and fuck you, and all of you need to stop talking. And it's like, okay, so you're saying that, we can't navigate the
yeah,
conversation.
I understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Your mic is a little loud. I turned you down. Don't worry, buddy.
Okay, cool. Yeah, no problem. My mic is all over the place because I record music, so it's just like it's up, it's down, it's up, it's down.
Sure. Yeah, I can do that. It's just frustrating because then I'm responsible for managing. And I guess I always feel like I'm in this position where I have to manage so much in a I hate it when I feel like I have to manage both people in a convo. It's very difficult. It's already challenging enough to manage my stuff in a conversation, like to make sure that I'm not making any slip-ups or whatever. But then when I also have to like be so careful to account for their emotional state and everything too, it's like it's a lot of work.
I don't know that you need to account for his emotional state. Like you don't have to take care of him.
Well, I kind of do. You're asking me to. Like, this is like some BDSM aftercare shit almost. Like, hey, listen, we just had a really extreme interaction.
You're not trying to calm him down, right? The point isn't to calm him down.
Well,
the point is to have a conversation.
No,
I don't agree.
Well, I disagree because. Well, go ahead. You say your point.
Okay, yeah. So I think if he's feeling that angry, he's expressing anger, and I think he can control his own anger. What he can't control is his actual meaning of expression. So when he's trying to say, "I mean this," that is what he cannot control, and that is what you have to control. You don't have to like make him feel good. You don't have to make him feel less angry. You just need to make him feel hurt.
Make him feel hurt? Oh, heard.
Heard.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. But like the goal, like if I was debating with another like logic bro or something, and we were just having like an argument or whatever, then I would
just suppress your emotions.
Well, not suppress, but I would hope that they're accounting for their emotions, and I don't have to worry about that. Basically,
He's accounting for his emotions.
he's
and
not though.
intentionally expressing
Because
them.
no. Hold on.
He's intentionally expressing his
he is unintentionally expressing them by using other words to convey. He's not saying in the conversation, "Listen, I'm upset and I'm hurt that you're doing this." He's saying, "You need to call him a Nazi because it's important." Maybe towards.
Did he literally say he was angry and he was upset?
Yeah, angry, but because of like the logical stuff that he's talking about. But that wasn't probably where the anger was coming from. It was an emotionally loaded anger. Because he was trying to logic his way through it to sound like, oh, well, I'm angry because this guy could become a Nazi dictator and hurt my family, blah, blah, blah. But that's not why he was angry. That's not true.
Maybe. I don't know. I feel like I really felt that he cared so strongly about, well...
I disagree because later on he even admitted to Abba and Gideon, he even said, like, because they asked him, what are the chances of this guy actually becoming a dictator? He's like, oh, probably low to nothing. Well, then how are you that upset over it? There has to be something else at play here.
Yeah. It certainly could be. I just felt like he cares so deeply about hatred and Nazis and all these people, and he's an ultra cautious person. I get the
kind of, but I mean,
he's very rule focused, very.
Well, but
cautious.
but then it's hard to. How do you square that away with like the whole like song called "I'm a Pedophile"? Like it seems like he's boundary pushing in some ways, like pretty hardcore.
I think there's a difference between being authentic and trying to be like this. I need to express who I am, but also being like, I'm not going outside because COVID gives you brain damage, and I really don't want to get brain damage at all. Right? Like these are two things.
Wait, I
that
don't understand
exist
that
together
at all. Sorry. Or can you explain it?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So he is very worried about COVID. There was a video that he did a while ago where essentially he's worried about that we don't quite know the effects of COVID. So even though COVID stuff has died down and he's vaccinated, he's not going out into the world like maybe you or I would.
Wait, are you talking about Mr. Girl? Is this true?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I had no idea about this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, in general, I think he sort of self-reports these.
Uh-oh. Jesus. Well, what's up? Sorry. Okay, what do you want to talk about?
I was just reading.
Before I segue hardcore into gym stuff.
It's a funny thread I just read.
Oh, legal advice. Hold on, I'll open this. I feel like last comment on this. If you want to do like rotator cuff stuff, I feel like you should just get like cable machine, body level, and you just do like these internal like external rotations. They're super easy. You've got a cable, consistent weight the entire way through. Like this type of shit. This seems like the shoulder.
No one cares.
7,000 lift. Okay, sorry, hold on. Let's see. We got an Epic Dan thread that he wants to talk about. Epic Dan thread.
I didn't
Classmate is making me and other classmates sign an MTNA.
You know what? I will leave. Settle it down, or I'll leave right now.
I'm just reading. Okay, let me read it.
Funny,
okay.
like...
Where's a knife?
As the title says, a classmate of mine in college is making me and all of his classmates sign an NDA. I and most of my classmates don't want to sign it. Can I be forced to sign? For context, he's a TikToker and scared of being canceled, which in my opinion is pretty bold of him to think he'll be famous enough for us to care. I already signed an NDA about disclosing personal stuff with my college, and I feel like my classmate's NDA isn't necessary. If I do say something about him that's not libelous, can I still be sued for breaking an NDA? What? This is dumb as fuck.
Yeah, I have it all the way back, and I missed a quest. I don't.
It is pretty funny.
It is.
I'm gonna see what each ending gives, because I feel like the ending I just decided to choose kind of is the ending where you have to murder everyone in the institute.
Okay,
that's not really
zero
right.
tolerance today for fucking people. Hey, Starro, you got a problem, mate? Starro, post your fucking all your shit right now. I want to laugh at you. You seem to be in a very confident place where you can criticize me and be, all this shit. So let's return the favor, right? You got your shit together. Let's go. Come on, post everything about your life. Yeah, that's what I thought. Anyways.
Have you seen Jordan Peele's Nope? It's really
Nope.
good. Did you see Get Out? I forgot. I thought you said
Yep.
no. Oh, you did? Okay. Fuck. I feel like
Wait,
Get Out.
Did I?
What?
Making sure that I did. This is the one with the crazy white people that put their minds inside of...
Yeah, that's that one.
Okay.
Okay, we'll do one manual save here.
You must be.
Fuck this.
Yeah,
don't
Get
care.
Out was really, really
We're back. There's a poo crawling out of my ass. I can just feel it. It's just happening. I'll show you. my knee.
Mark Cuban gets sued.
Mark Cuban is being sued for an investment
Mark Cuban is being
as
sued.
close to risk-free
Yes,
as
I
you're
like
going to
that.
get in crypto right before it all crashed.
I'm not trying here to tell you it's 100% risk-free, but it's as close to risk-free as you're going to get in the crypto universe. Create an account using the promotional code MAVS100.
Well, that didn't turn out so well. It turns out now you can use code SUETHEMAVS at checkout to recoup your money. Now, is this a sure thing? No, but it's as close to a sure thing as you're going to get in the world of suing billionaires. Because fast forward several months after the Mavs jumped into this investment opportunity, the almost risk-free company Voyager declared bankruptcy and froze everyone's money.
More pain in the world of crypto. Voyager Digital files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection just days after the broker suspended withdrawals on the platform.
Now, I reported on this a few months ago, how Voyager disguised itself as a low-risk business and used misleading marketing to make incredibly dumb lending decisions that some people would call doing a 2008. Now, because of that, a class action lawsuit has just been filed against Voyager and Mark Cuban. It claims that they both promoted a Ponzi scheme that cost a lot of people money. So today we're going to dive into this lawsuit to figure out what's going on.
It's just that Mr. Benet is many things.
So to begin, the first thing you need to know about this story is that this is actually the second class action lawsuit against Voyager. The first one happened almost a year ago. It's called the Cassidy lawsuit. The main allegation in this lawsuit is that it accuses Voyager of lying, which I know is a bit like accusing Ezra Miller of a felony. It's about as unsurprising as the sunrise, but plaintiffs accused Voyager of lying about claims of 100% commission-free trading. Voyager advertised that when you buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, there's no fees to do so, which obviously sounds very attractive until you realize that Voyager makes millions of dollars in fees despite having no fees. So how is that possible? Well, they make money on something called the spread. This is the difference in price when you buy and sell. This is how a lot of free brokers essentially work. Except in the case of Voyager, they had told people that they had a special technology saving them even more money called the Smart Order Router. According to their marketing, it identifies inefficiencies in the crypto market, which it then uses to, quote, get you a better price on your trades, which all meant, according to Voyager, they only make money when you save.
It's cute. This is what they're describing here is analogous in the world of finance to something called payment for order flow. It's kind of funny. You give price improvement to customers in order to basically like buy and sell like big trades for them or whatever.
Hey DesTiny, it's Ron Paul's birthday today. Can we all wish him a happy birthday, DJJL?
It's coming along.
Yeah, happy birthday.
You understand, right?
This wasn't true. Allegedly, Voyager charges their users the highest premium on trades across all competitors. And, quote, on all but one occasion, Voyager's prices were worse than whichever exchange they were compared to. So the only person this Smart Order Router...
Hold on, sorry, YouTube retard. And you vehemently defended payment for order flow. Yeah, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with payment for order flow. But one of the things you have to show that you can get in trouble for is if you can't give price improvement to your customers. There's nothing wrong with payment for order flow. Actually, wrong. I'll go one step further and I'll say I do oppose payment for order flow, but it's not for the retarded reason that you do. You oppose payment for order flow because you think it's front running, because you don't know what either of those things are. I oppose it because I don't think there should be commission-free trading, because we need to put guardrails on to protect retards like you from downloading an app like Robinhood and losing all of your fucking money on stupid meme shit that you read about on Superstocks. So I do oppose payment for order flow, but only because I think there should be some friction relating to retail trading, because when dipshits like you can download any app and throw away all of your mom's fucking allowance onto whatever stupid fucking meme shit that you see on the internet, then I think that's a problem. And we saw that around the GME shit. There's like a million fucking people who think they have all the markets figured out and they don't understand everything because they got into like frictionless free trading, and now they're like the most conspiracy-minded people in the fucking world. So you got me.
Was working for was really Voyager. And in hindsight, it's...
DesTiny has terrible investment advice. Do not listen to this. Tyler Jones, tell me what I said was wrong before I permaban you. Go. Go! 99% of retail traders are losers in the market. Everybody knows this. If you are a retail trader, more than likely you are a loser. You have lost. You've lost your ass on retail trading and you've lost your ass on crypto. Frictionless trading has been a mistake. It's literally fucking dopamine hits. Frictionless trading is TikTok for people that think they know finance. That's all it is. There should probably be some friction involved when you go to do a trade, so you have to stop and think for more than the 2 seconds it takes you to mash the button on your cell phone to buy some fucking penny stock that, you know, some friend on Discord told you was a great deal. Tell me what I'm saying that's wrong, Tyler. Go for it.
Father has done remarkable things. I would not accept
ETFs and divvies. What are you talking? I tell people to buy ETFs all the time. What are you talking about? ETFs are like 80% of my portfolio. Bye. You're a perma man. Bye. You're just a dumb fuck.
Drew!
Not exactly that Voyager was making money off trading fees, but it's how brazen they were about lying about it that was the problem. Voyager repeatedly advertised things like getting you the quote most Bitcoin for your buck
7 a.m.
with images of Voyager checking multiple exchanges for pricing, but this is allegedly false. And that's what lawsuit 1 is about. Voyager lied, people died. Okay, well, people didn't die. People paid millions more than they had to. But then next came the bankruptcy of Voyager, which we know a lot about. Their lending team basically acted like degenerates on Wall Street bets and lost everyone's money on high-risk loans. And that all brings us up to today. Lawsuit number 2 with our boy Mark Cuban. The lawsuit basically says, hey, people lost millions, maybe billions of dollars because you said this was all close to risk-free, and it clearly wasn't. Now the plaintiffs are suing to recoup losses they claim are up to $5 billion, which I know sounds like a lot. I'm guessing this is so that they can negotiate later and maybe get a fraction of that in some kind of a settlement. But while there are a lot of things in this lawsuit that are similar to the first one, there are a few new things worth talking about. Firstly, it came out in discovery that Cuban actually knew about the first lawsuit, the Cassidy one. And apparently he even was worried about it or wondered if he should be worried about it. Allegedly, he contacted the CEO, Stephen Ehrlich, about it and clearly never communicated any of that or the risk to his fans. And the other big thing in this lawsuit is that it accuses Cuban and Stephen Ehrlich of running a...
Hold on. I'm not jumping back into this because I don't want to get, because I just don't want to. I don't like the kind of friction that closes trading and forces people to sell stocks they bought. If somebody is forcibly closing your position, that probably means that the price was fluctuating too much and you didn't have enough collateral to hold your margin open, right? Any margin that you're trading on, and people were accusing that all of their positions were being forced closed by Robinhood. I don't think a single one of those things were ever proven. It was always people that didn't have enough collateral, that were trading on margins that were too big, that whereas prices were fluctuating and they got margin called, and your position being closed is part of the agreement that you make with any broker that you trade with, and then them blaming some huge fucking conspiracy on what happened. Okay, people, your shit's not randomly being sold. Fuck off. Okay, stop.
A Ponzi scheme where basically they were kept bringing in new people to pay for the other people until it all imploded.
Your mom.
Now, I'll leave it to you guys to decide whether this was all a Ponzi scheme or not. But what I know is true is that Voyager definitely misled people, all the while claiming to be transparent and looking out for the customer, which to me is about as bad as it gets.
And so we're trying to make sure that we're so transparent about this, and transparency is really what leads us to trying to build, the next generation of financial services companies, is by being transparent about it. I'm sure if like Cred, if it was quarterly financials, some of the things that they're talking.
The friction you want should not be on ETFs and blue chips and long holding. Retail targets need to be elected of margin under certain capital requirements. I don't think it's good. This is like the overarching philosophy that I'm talking about, okay? I don't like the gamification of stock trading. When Robinhood is like, download our app, get one free stock, like blah, 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 like that type of shit, I don't think that's a healthy mindset to be in. Because it's gambling, but somehow it's been made psychologically not that. People think they're not gambling, but it is. You're walking into a casino. It's actually not even like casino gambling, because in casino gambling, you've got way better odds, right? Like the house edge on a casino gamble is like, I think roulette is 40.5, or it's like 50.5 to 49.5 or something, or that might be the blackjack odds. It's all really, really, really close. But in retail trading, you're getting fucked way more than that. It's not healthy. And the worst thing too is at the very least, when it comes to gambling, those people aren't under any illusion that they're gaining some greater understanding of the system, right? A whole bunch of losers, shouldn't say losers. People will walk into casinos, get addicted to gambling, lose their money, and then come out and be like, man, I gambled, I'm a fucking retard. But the problem is with the retail trading craze, with the frictionless retail trading craze, these retards are walking into an app, gambling all their money, losing it, but now they're coming out thinking that like, oh, like the system's broken, man. All these retail brokers and hedge funds, they're killing us out there, dude. Like, it's a whole fucking conspiracy. No, it's not. You're just a retarded gambler that got addicted to gambling and you lost your ass because you thought that you could do 2 hours of DD reading and all of a sudden you're an expert trader ready to make millions off of the $50 margin account that you managed to scrounge up on Robinhood. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, the problem with the retail trading shit is that people, like, they get way too conspiratorial. They don't understand how any of the markets work. They run off into all this conspiracy shit. Just go gamble. Go to the casino and gamble because it's way better for everybody. It's better for everybody involved. Okay? It's better for everybody involved.
About might have gotten caught earlier. So it's important to us.
So yeah, it turns out they weren't transparent at all. And not only that, they used one of the most respected businessmen in the world to push their misleading claims onto millions. This is especially ironic given how Cuban talks about how the goal of this partnership is education and financial literacy.
It's the education that we want to bring education.
The education of education.
Education. Teach the youth about financial literacy. Financial literacy.
Well, I guess it is fair to say that investors got an education, just probably not the one Mark Cuban was talking about. The whole irony here is that Cuban is always pushing the same trash that he's ranting against. Like, on the one hand, he'll call metaverse real estate the dumbest ever, which, to be fair, might be true. But then on the other hand, he turns around and gets caught in scam after scam. And at some point, you have to ask yourself, when does he become responsible for what he says, especially when he's one of the most recognizable businessmen on the planet, thanks to Shark Tank? I mean, when Mark Cuban speaks, for better or worse, and he is a terrible crypto investor, people still listen. So it's sad when he says things like this.
There's a lot of ways to inexpensively start to get an understanding. And it's a lot easier than even opening up a savings account. It's a pain in the ass to open up a savings account, particularly for your kids these days. There's so much paperwork, and whether it's yourself personally.
Wait, what? How much paperwork is it to open a fucking bank account? I don't think it was a lot of paperwork 15 years ago. Am I crazy? I feel like you can walk in and out of a bank and have an account in like an hour. I haven't made a new one in a long time though, so maybe I'm wrong?
Someone you're trying to teach your kids about personal finance, believe it or not, this is actually a better way. And so that's one of the unique opportunities and why it's not too late.
That's right. Why fill out all that boring paperwork at a bank when you can
Or you
lose
can just
all
do it
your money
online?
instead
Yeah, true.
for a valuable lesson in personal finance? Of course, I'm hoping that if the fans actually win this lawsuit, it's a lesson in personal finance that Mark Cuban won't forget either.
Are you serious?
Okay.
Okay. Ugh. Gonna be right back for a second. My eyeballs. Okay, I'm gonna head out. Too late now. I love you. I appreciate you.